Guys, I'm wearing a hat. It's rough here, okay? You I'm pulling out the Barocca. I think it's gonna keep me up all night. I don't know. But I have no nutrients in me and it feels necessary. Cheers. New beginnings, here I go. Barocca in a hat, good start. Guys, I'm so fucked. Not fucked as in like moving, but I am just the level of exhaustion I am feeling is fine. I'm cool. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm chill. I'm so chill. Hi, Tasty, Quezza, Professor Favington, False, how you doing? Welcome on in, Likevbo Milk. Jas, hello. Dottie, welcome on in. Punky, who have I missed? Turesk, hello. Vox, hello.
Search the world and never.
That's a nice start to the stream, Dirty Deets. 52 months, a sneaky tier 3. Thank you so, so much. This time next week, you'll be all done. I know, but I'm only at the start. Do you know what I mean? It feels like I've been doing this for so long. How do people move in less time than this? Truly, truly, like this whole process has been so stressful. Just fuck, man. How will we find the news stream? It'll be right here. I just got to transfer everything over. This is kind of the last thing I have to pack up, kind of, except for that corner, which I still haven't done. But I did my whole kitchen today, except for the fridge. I cleaned out the fridge, but I can't take stuff out of the fridge until I move it across because otherwise it'll get hot. And why would I do that? Do you know what I mean? I did consider setting a lot of possessions on fire today. It's not even floofy hair. It's a hat and I'm wearing a hat. I have no makeup on. I could not get ready for stream. I couldn't do it. But I'm here. Witness me. Okay? We're chilling. It's cool. End of an era. For real, for real. In my first house that I lived in all by myself. And honestly, for a portion of it, I feel like I did thrive. For a portion. What are the new digs like? A little smaller, but nice. Has floorboards. The shower has a door. I haven't bought anywhere to live. How much money do you think I make? Subscribe today. No, I have not bought a house. I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were talking about how they owned a house in Sydney, and I was like, that's amazing. You have a house, though. And he was like, yeah, my parents died. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then he's like, we both laughed, but Lemo, Pixel, poor darling. She's so stressed. She has no idea what's going on. Darling, I love you. You want some squirties? Yeah, you want some squirties? You go, can you hop into bed? Poor thing. She's like, there's nothing to sit on. Everything's in boxes. Everything smells funny. There's dust everywhere. Sorry to assume you were successful enough to afford a house. Should have known better. Has she seen the new place? No, I don't have the keys yet. So no, that's tomorrow. So, we'll see how we go. It's all fucking happening. Cool. So cool. Has Pixel done her own packing? No, Pixel has not done anything at all. She's just been giving me love. Give me love, love, give me love, love. I'm paying a week of double rent. For anybody wondering, I'm paying a week of double rent. 1 week. I can't do it in any smaller. Like, I've got to move everything over, set everything up. I have to get this place cleaned, carpets cleaned, so yeah, nah. I'm not moving. So I'm doing a bit of moving myself just because, like, I'm not going to trust my PC with the movers, just moving things like food over and stuff like that. Hi, Louie. You know, yeah, but the movers are doing like the big stuff. So, yeah. And hopefully it means like they won't be so expensive. Hopefully. The lady estimated like $800, which I'm hoping it's less. But you just never know. But like there's so much shit I can't carry. Like I carried shit out of this room today and I am so tired. I am just a tired girl now. I am, but that's okay. I cannot wait to be fully, oh my God, fully unpacked in my new house, comfortable, thriving. 800 seems like so much. It does, doesn't it? I think it's 153 an hour. I think they said 153 an hour. And so she wanted to overestimate rather than underestimate because I asked her how much it would be. So yeah. One week is super quick. I had a full month. I know, but I can't afford a full month. Like, that's crazy. To be honest, it's like a whole month's rent to move full stop between like the clean and the everything. So that would be crazy. A little bit reorganized. I'm still looking at shit and being like, I should just throw that out. I threw out dried flowers today. I'm like, gone. We're done with that. Done. Got rid of some other stuff today. Yep, the dried flowers are gone. I'm contemplating getting rid of the duck. I'll show you. I think it's too ridiculous not to keep. I know. But he's so scuffed. He's so broken. Like, this leg is not even attached, kind of. Like, he's got one dicky leg, I don't know. I think the duck might go. Hey, Pix, that is a great duck. Guys, not all you getting me to save the duck. Save the duck. Imagine being discarded for being scuffed. What does Pixel think? I don't think Pixel's really enjoying her time right now. fastest pack bonding I've ever seen. Yeah, guys, you're really attached to my Dicky Wooden duck from when I was 19. Like, I bought it to have in the house with like my first boyfriend. I don't know. Maybe maybe it's time to get rid of the vibes. Do you know what I mean? Or I am sentimental. It's not like I'm mad about it. So maybe I keep the duck with the dicky leg. Damn, you've had a boyfriend? I've had so many boyfriends. So many. 1 million boyfriends. Lamo. That duck has witnessed a lot of my life. Your soul is impure. I know it's tainted. Tainted love. My throat is so sore. I don't think I'm getting sick, touch wood. I'm pretty sure it's just all of the dust and like that, but my throat is very sore. Oh no, one of these postmodern feminists with a high body count, Jordan Peterson probably. What of it? Hi, coziest. Hello, you're new. Thanks for the follow. Ah, you're the one I unbanned. Okay, don't fuck it up. I'm gonna buy Conclave as soon as I can find it cheap. That was so good. My mom. Guys, I told my mom about Conclave because I was like, we watched it as a community last night. It was really good. And my mom has my Prime. And I see this charge come through on my credit card for $7. And I called my mom and I'm like, hey, mom, what you up to? And she's like, I just bought Conclave to watch. She's like, don't worry, I will give you the $7. And I'm like, that's chill. That's cool. You enjoy it. So she's watching Conclave right now. I found Conclave riveting. I enjoyed that movie so much more than I thought I would. Truly. You didn't like the ending? I loved the ending. No spoilers. I loved the ending. I loved the ending. And when I think about it, I also love the foreshadowing of the ending. The foreshadowing of the ending is just done. It's beautiful. I enjoyed it a lot. Yes, a pope dies in the movie, clearly, because it's called conclave, which is, when they all go in to vote and figure out the new pope. It's not spoilers. It's literally the first thing that happens, all right? The thing I said in chat last night, right, that I really do stand by is that I think people who seek out leadership positions, you have to question. But there are some people who have leadership positions thrust upon them and I honestly think those people are better leaders. I think those people are better leaders. I think people you don't perceive as, leaders and people wanting leadership are better leaders. Well, see, it's funny, right? Because clearly I am the leader, right? But I never intended for that to be the case. I just got on here and played video games with my friends at the time. Oh my gosh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Send off for you an appreciation of your time and energy all these years. May the next offer continue good times and comfort. I hope so. I'm excited for the new place. Vox, did you get a DM or something? What am I missing? Oh, you might be banned from Discord. I don't know what you did, but let's just try not to, just try to be normal in the community first, and then we'll work on Discord. Like, you're my first unbanned basically ever, so... I think you just came in and said some real depressing shit is what I think happened. Could have been a bad day for me. I don't know. But from what I remember, time flies. I think you just came in and trauma dumped on me. I'm giving you a second chance. Try not to do it again. Okay. Oh, it gets pruned a lot, Jas.
Triargang gifted a tier 1
That's
sub
very
to
nice of you,
Clasius Zero.
Trier.
They have given 2,581 gift subs in the channel.
I'm sure it will be fine. Everything's always fine. Enjoy your streaked spine foot. DJ, stop inciting chaos. A croissant shark? A croissant shark? A croissant shark. Would you like a croissant shark? Stop, that's so funny. Croissant. Yeah, that was your croissant shark, Trier. You got the croissant shark. And you got a salmon. Wow. All the fish in the sea. That's great, coziest. I'm so chill. It's so fine. I was probably having a bad day too. Sometimes I don't mind, and other times I do, especially if it's like the vibe. So just try read the room and we're chill. Me, I'm generic Teresk because I am generic. I am generic. Oh, the salmon. Chat, if I were a kind of fish, what kind of fish would I be? A clownfish? I don't think a platypus is a fish. They lay eggs. Wait, other fish lay eggs too. Wait, fish do lay eggs. The one with both its eyes on the same side? What the fuck? I'm not mod status enough to be that bold. Professor Fappington, you have a bit of immunity. Don't you worry. You can say some shit and get away with it. Now don't push that too far though. It's true, Louis. I understand. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Maybe the sub goal is for the unbanning of the word salad cream. I was going to say hagfish, but I decided to be kind. Wow. Wow. Wow, a hype train out of nowhere. So exciting. Cool. Oh my God. Probably the last ever hype train in this apartment. Chat, a level 10 hype train, and I will unban salad cream. Right now. There you go. Do not. I've figured out what fish you are, Pixel. You're a red herring. Slay. Good luck. I'm not telling you how I set that up. Set what up? Oh. I would have to ask. Louis.
Live Laugh Louis gifted a tier 1 sub to 10,000
No, you can't
subs.
say it false. I'd literally have to ask Tasty to unban it because I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, you can unban it now. Don't you try and loophole me. Don't you try and loophole me. While I'm moving house, my whole body hurts. My hip flexors are fucked. My lower back hurts. My head hurts. My throat hurts. Woohoo! Oh yeah? Name 5 loopholes. Coziest, I've been streaming 8 fucking years, mate. I'm aware of where the banned word list is. Tasty, lame-o.
Tasty Velociraptor gifted a tier 1 sub to Box Lady. They have given 1,674 gift subs in the channel.
I know, I am. Tasty, enjoy your Nimbochromis. Cavity job, it's over a long period of time. I've been streaming 8 years. People like my content. What do you want me to tell you? Sorry, people have paid for my content. Sorry, people have decided to like spend their money that way. Like what? I find it funny because it insinuates that what? I'm not deserving, or that person is what? Like, think about what it insinuates. Little dragonfish? Oh yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, it's a fish. That's cute. Tasty, not you flexing the fucking badge. That's so funny. That's so funny. Nobody flex their badges, guys. You'll get me cancelled for making money on the internet, okay? Don't do that. Nobody do that. No badge flexing in my chat, because if you did that, then I'll get cancelled. I don't know if I'll go to PAX yet. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm moving house at the moment. Last stream? Wait, what? Why? I'm moving house. It's the last stream for 3 days while I move. It's okay. I'm not dying yet. Yet. We live on. Imagine I did my last stream just before the election. Poetic. That would be kind of funny. I don't think I'll get a state funeral. Yeah, not even waiting for the results, just calling it quits. Yeah, just like, peace. Nevax, 38 months. So... Thank you for your prime. I don't know why you would give that to me. That's crazy. Stop it. I reject it. Hi, Blanc. I'm okay. I'm fucked. I'm so tired. Stazik. Oh no, you're prime too? So... Oh, get that out of here 49 months later. No, why? Why me? Stop it. Get your politics elsewhere and stream. That would be kind of iconic. if I did just end that way. Hi, lemons. Yeah, I'm moving house.
This sub just started going to pre-primary school and now they've got to switch schools because of the relocation.
No, not a non. 62 months and you subscribe to a bad person who's uprooting their children. God, that's rude of me. Hey, Astral. How's Ozpol looking? Scarily okay. Scarily okay. We obviously don't know until it happens, but it seems okay at the moment. Not another croissant shark. Unacceptable. We're supposed to have more political chaos. I don't think I can stand any more political chaos. I think so soon, a little bit. Yeah, we were talking about that last night. I've eaten dumplings today, but I've had like 10 of them. That's all I could be bothered eating. Yeah, the Canadian election is tomorrow, and it's looking like the Liberals will have it. It'll be interesting. I'd like less political chaos as a treat, if that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that would be okay. I need a salad. I unironically need to eat a salad. Like, I need to eat a salad. It's not been a good time for my health. But, like, I'll set up a good new fridge and coziest, I'm going to need you to, like, why do I love PAX, right? But why have you brought up PAX 3 different times? I think I banned you because this is annoying as fuck. I did go to PAX last year, but like this is the third time you brought it up. What's the deal? It's the art of the deal. It's the art of the deal. It's many deals. So many fucking deals. Evan, I will kill you. I swear to God. Why do you want to know though? Surely you know. If you were there, you know. If you were there, you know I was. If you weren't there, why does it matter? Occasionally I'll just sit in silence while I'm processing, okay? Has to be done. Louis, I swear to God. Oh, my feet are cold and I don't have any socks on. Bugs. Coziest, you need to respond. Why do you want to know? I don't get it. It's driving me bonkers. Please explain. I have an FBI document that says you were on the Knoll in 1963. Care to comment? I do not care to comment. Because you look familiar? I thought I saw you buying socks at Kmart the other day. Clearly not judging by the temperature of your feet. Stop. Stop it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I did this to myself. It's chill. I'm chilling. Thanks, Solitary Jordan. I'm taking that compliment and running it. Yeah. We have Kmart. Australia has Kmart. We love Kmart. Kmart's a sleigh, okay? Kmart's still rocking on here. We're good. Look, I'm weird. I get it. I'm weird enough pudding too. All right? I do get it, but I don't know. It feels like to me that it takes a special skill to be weird in chat. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, even though I know most of you are probably fucking weird, no offense, I assume you claim that, most of you seem normal in chat. Right? To me, you all seem very normal, very chill, very, very, you give normal in chat. Are you normal IRL? Probably not. I'm not. So, like, oh yeah, name 5 normal chatters. I take offense to being called normal. Oh my God, you can't win. This is it. This is my why I left the left. This is it. This is it. It's my why I left the left. My chat was weird and wanted to be normal, but I said they were normal and they wanted to be weird. And that's just the left. Summed up for you. You can't win. You can't get it right. You're either too inclusive, not inclusive enough, you know? It's fucked out here. I need socks. My feet are cold. But I don't know where they are. I found these. I have fox socks. Aren't they cute? My grandma gave me these before she died. Because my grandma was convinced you always had to have warm feet. So honestly, for a lot of my birthdays throughout my life, I got socks. Last stream here, where you going to a new house. I got kicked out of this one for being a baddie. So I have to go to a new house and be a baddie there. A whole new baddie. A baddie reborn. Okay? It's fine. I'm going to pull it back together. It's going to be great. Vox, it didn't even feel that quick, to be honest. It truly didn't. I said to my mum the other day, I was like, imagine if I hadn't have gotten that place. Because it takes so long for these things to like process and organize. I can't imagine having done this any quicker. But like, if I hadn't have gotten that place, I think I would have been so stressed. Like, what if I was still looking now? That would be crazy. This sleepy broad is the best. I am so sleepy. Poopy poop butt soup. Lol. You wouldn't be. You had a backup plan. I suppose I did have a backup plan, but... Guys, I've got leftover boxes from gifts. I don't want to get rid of them, because then I would have to buy more boxes. And I feel like that would be bad. Here's the lid for this box. Do you know what I mean? So I have to keep the boxes, but the boxes have to go somewhere. I found a box for the boxes. It's fine. The new stream room is probably just going to look similar to this, probably worse. It's smaller, I know that. Don't know what the acoustics will be like. The apartment could have thin walls. I might never be able to sing again. My life will be over. And then, who knows? Or it could all just work out really well. Don't know. We'll find out. There won't be natural reverb. The room's too small. And it's carpeted. So I don't think there will be natural reverb. I'll do some songs. Of course there will still be songs. New house, new life, new me. New house, new me chat. Have you ever made or considered a gratitude diary? I have one. I journal. Do I not seem like a grateful person? This Sunday stream has Friday stream vibes for some reason. It sure does, doesn't it? New house, same bullshit. No, I'm going to be an entirely different, more perfect person when I move house. Hi, Danny. Not until the next Taylor Swift album drops. Fucking lol. Rude. Echo.
House deposit. So
Thanks for your prime. 19 months. Crazy. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to settle in the new place, but I have to paint one of the walls. It's all just happening. It's all just happening. Thanks for your labor. Anytime. Turesque. Will they though? I'm gonna clean out this corner. Right? Also, do not look, but yeah. This is the corner. Don't look at the dangling internet box. Okay. But this is the last of the stuff that I just haven't wanted to deal with. I don't think I should do this while live. It could fuck up the internet. The cords are entangled. Oh, too far. I don't think I should do that while live. I shouldn't do that. We have to do that at a later time. I think it helps me keep perspective and not sweat the day-to-day things as much. No accusation. Modest tradition. You're so right. But sweating the day-to-day things is half my personality. But will any of these things matter in a couple of weeks' time? No. Is moving extremely stressful? Yes. Am I one of the luckiest people on the planet? Also probably yes. So, you know, I am sipping it. Since you're experienced and competent dog handler, can I ask for advice on doggy sitting? You need to watch a lot of videos and then practice a lot with dogs. It's a huge responsibility. Fox, I've never had a tradition because I've never really moved. This is my first move completely on my own. As in, I moved in here. That was the first time. I didn't really make any traditions, so I don't know. Take out and bed assembling. No, I'm really hoping the movers disassemble and assemble the bed. I can't do it on my own. My bed doesn't need Allen keys. I won't need a blow-up mattress. I'm just so tired. Let's sing some songs. I don't think my voice will sound very good tonight, but You can have a few songs and then I'm really just here to be like, see ya. See ya in 3 days. Oh, not the final fucking debate going on though. Should we just have a little glance? I'll probably get DMCA'd.
The migration program has been mismanaged by this government. And if you bring in 1 million people over 2 years, over a 5-year period, it'll be about 2 million people, a population bigger than the size of Adelaide. And yet money's been pulled out of infrastructure. The government's signature housing policy hasn't built one home. And the fact is that young Australians know this. Young Australians are putting off having children under this government because they can't afford a mortgage and a family at the same time. Right. And for many families otherwise, parents and grandparents, they're staying in the workforce for longer because they're either having to help their kids with a deposit. Grandparents, they're staying in the workforce for longer.
I'm lucky to be able to enjoy what you've been up to all these years. You've made a wonderful difference in the quality of the days.
Crisis that the Prime Minister's created. And that's why we have to cut migration, to focus on the skilled migration, yes, but to make sure that Australians can get into housing.
Mr Albanese?
Well, the truth is that the migration rates have fallen by 31% in the last year. And after COVID, of course, there was going to be more people coming in short term. The government is addressing that by lowering migration at the same time as we're building housing. There have been 400,000 homes completed since we came to office.
This is just the same shit all over again, chat. We know it all.
Our Housing Australia Future Fund.
Not one, he said, under your
Our
scheme.
Housing Australia Future Fund, which they held up together, the Coalition and the Greens, that's now in operation, 28,000 homes, either under construction...
But not one completed.
Either under construction or in planning. Well, one of the schemes, the Help to Buy scheme, was passed in the Parliament last December.
Quiet.
Now, you're having a lend to oppose all of those measures and then say, why haven't the homes been built? The former government didn't even have a housing minister for half the time they were in office and invested a total of $5 billion. We've got a $43 billion Homes for Australia plan. We've lifted rental assistance by 40...
You want to hear my hottest take? This ain't changing any votes. It's my hottest take. The rhetoric is already out there. Like, truly. Oh, of course. Lemo. It feels like political debates are moot at this point. Everybody already knows who their team is. Glad I voted early yesterday to avoid the bullshit on Saturday. There was an article about that in The Guardian in the last week or two. Voldemort looking lizard. Peter Dutton looks like someone stuck glasses on an expired egg. Wasn't that on Sky? Did anyone even see it? No, so there's been a few debates. I watched the one on Sky and paid for it to watch it. Watched the one on ABC. All of it. I don't think this debate is changing any votes. If anything, I just think it's fucking annoying.
Or you actually sell the shares or sell the house.
Yeah, that's we know that's caught up in the Parliament. That's not
no,
law.
but that's the
We'll go to
government's
next-
policy.
The worst policy that exists coming out of the Liberals is the taking money out of your superannuation fund. Right? Look at the egg spam. Look at the egg spam in chat. Fucking slay. Make Peter Dutton opposition leader again. That's so funny. I love watching the chat.
Nothing of
Delightful.
it before the election.
Those viewers at home on that first marginal tax rate, got a tax cut, they wouldn't have got a single dollar. That is why it's important, and we'll add to it by targeting deliberately that first rate, taking it from 16 down to 15 and
Chat,
down
we
to
might as well watch
14,
it. We're here.
which will put $2,500 into people's pockets at the same time, of course, as wages are increasing.
Okay.
And we're also delivering $1,000 instant tax deduction, which will make a difference, particularly for low and middle income earners.
Thanks, Mr Albanese. Mr Dutton, part of the rationale for this $5 a week and then $10 a week tax cut is to target what we call bracket creep. So your wage goes up through inflation, you pay higher tax. That's part of that. You say you have an aspiration to change the tax.
Most of these words mean nothing to the average voting Australian, just so you know.
To index the tax rates to alleviate the problem with bracket creep. Yet at the same time, you're going to this election, as the Prime Minister just pointed out, promising the people you will repeal a tax cut. I don't know of any leader who's ever done that. Is that crazy brave or just crazy?
Well, Mark, what we've
What do you
said
mean
is that you
echo?
can
My
have
voice
the
just
Labor option,
changes all
which
the
is
time
70 cents
depending
a
on
day
if I'm
in
hungover
15
or
months'
whatever.
time, as you point out, or you can have a 25 cent a litre cut to fuel excise now. So $14
Oh, this
per
fucking
tank
fuel
per week.
cut.
That-
This fucking fuel cut is literally just poor people bait to try and get a vote. It's trying to appeal to truck drivers and stuff. These Band-Aid solutions sell well politically, but they don't do anything long term. It is the dumbest use of fucking money that exists, right? The reason they do this kind of shit is because it is such a good political thing. It's like instant joy for people. It's no long-term solution. It's just a little fucking thing to get them over the line.
That's about $1,500 a year, $1,200 back for each taxpayer in an average income household, so $2,400. You equate that compared to the 70 cents a day, people are better off. So people can pay income tax, they can pay excise tax. There are other taxes that they pay. We're reducing
it's good
that
politics
overall
for
tax
bad
burden
policy
on the family. But we're providing that as an interim solution until we can fix
echo,
up
lol.
Labor's mess. The biggest issue at the moment is the fact, and the Reserve Bank Governor has pointed out this, that the homegrown inflation under this government, the spending, the massive spending, has led to inflation staying higher for longer. And under this government, if they're re-elected with the Greens, more spending will mean higher interest rates, and that will be devastating for homeowners and right across the economy.
We've heard that about the Reserve Bank.
I also need you to understand that spending money on infrastructure is something that has to happen. When you don't do anything, when you don't spend anything, it's just, again, dumb politics, right? Like it's just, you have to spend money. You have to spend money to function as a society. That's the way it works. Yes, you can't spend too much money, but it's driving me fucking bonkers. It's so frustrating to watch this.
Governor and the Prime Minister has many times accused you of verballing her. She did make some observations about homegrown inflation, but I don't think it was as broad as that. Mr Albanese, Mr Dutton saying that at some time in the future he will cut tax.
Well, he's going to increase it. He's going to this election campaign saying that he will increase the income tax of all 14 million Australians, and the changes that he's spoken about will disappear in 12 months' time. That is the difference. They don't have structural changes going through, such as the ones that we've implemented, that last, whether it's cheaper medicines, whether it be the income tax cuts, the real wage increases. I mean, they have said they'll get rid of measures like same job, same pay that have...
We're talking about tax. We're talking about tax.
But that is just... I mean, that is not true, Prime Minister. Honestly, this whole campaign... it's hard to believe anything you say. And this is the case, obviously, with the $275. You've never mentioned it again. The promises that you've made in relation to migration, the numbers blow out every quarter. You've made promises in relation to housing. You haven't delivered any housing. You have created an economic mess in our country. And our job as a Liberal government, as was the case for John Howard, is to clean up a Labor mess. And that's what we will do.
And this is the story that they run every fucking time. This is the story. That the Liberals get in on this every time because they're like, we have to clean up the economic mess. It is the only thing that they ever win on. And people believe it. They believe it hands down.
The interim measures, But how we bring down prices and inflation is to reduce some of the economy-wide impact of your energy policy. And that is how we can bring down the cost of groceries. We have a plan before the Australian people, which I think provides a solution to your problems, the creation of which you should be ashamed of, frankly, over the last
the man can't even speak. He didn't even speak any policy there. He's just like, we'll fix it. How, motherfucker? You just won't.
Be ashamed and you're a liar.
Well, Peter can attack me, but I tell you what I won't let him do. I won't let him attack the wages of working people. I won't let him attack the changes that we've put in place for cheaper childcare. I won't let him abandon free TAFE so that people can get an opportunity in life. I won't let him get away with this nonsense about economic management. We inherited a deficit of $78 billion. We turned that into a $22 billion surplus. We delivered another surplus and we halved the deficit this year. Inflation is now 2.4% in the bottom half of the Reserve Bank band. It was 6 and rising when we came to office. We have worked hard. The Australian people have worked hard in order to get that under control. And they deserve better than this pretense that everything was hunky-dory in 2022.
All right, but Mark, if that's the case, if what the Prime Minister has just said is true, if real wages have gone up and people are so much better off, real wages have gone up by 10%, prices of groceries have gone up by 30%. Real wages have gone backwards.
Where's that number from, the 30%? Where's that number from?
The 30% increase in grocery prices is what's come through over the last 3 years. The cost of electricity is up by 32%. The cost of gas is up by 34%. Core inflation in this country is twice that of our G7 nations. You have...
Dutton is like a rabid dog in a corner trying anything to get some votes. Like, maybe the Liberals will win, right? Maybe they fucking will. But it is funny to watch.
You can't stand here telling people that they're much better off after 3 years. If you had a good story to tell, Prime Minister, you wouldn't be running a scare campaign. You'd be talking about your so-called achievements of the last 3 years. Families are being smashed under your government. And if you're re-elected, the prices will...
Yes, because of the 9 years of failed fucking Liberal fiscal policy, you dumb fucking cunt. I swear to God, I'm so mad. How quickly do you think anything can change? 3 years is not a long time. 3 years is not a long time to get anything done. The idea that Labor was going to be able to fucking fix anything.
Keep going up.
The difference between us in this election campaign is that you have identified a range of issues, but you have no solutions, and you pretend that they've arisen in May 2022. Now, it's just a fact that the inflation rate is 2.4%. That doesn't mean that there aren't people out there doing it tough. Of course they are. But that's why we're undertaking these measures, to look after people, not to go out there, talk Australia down and to try to secure political advantage from grievance.
Okay, good exchange.
That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. He just read, guys, remember, I am not the biggest Anthony Albanese fan. I do like him, but, there's room for improvement. But he just hit the nail on the fucking head, right? This is what Liberal does every time. They use fear and political grievance to get votes.
Few talking points in there. I'm going to jump on them from here on. Now, before we pose our fourth question, we want to talk to you about something that's happened just recently that I think you both can agree is a stain on our country. Anzac Day, people booing the welcome to country. It has started,
this will be interesting
thing to happen. But it started a broader discussion. There are people in Australia who are uncomfortable with being welcomed to country. Veterans who've said that they fought for this country, their blood is in the soil, why do they need to be welcomed to country? Mr Dutton, as Prime Minister, we know you won't stand...
By the way, listen to the fucking framing of that question on this fucking conservative fucking platform. Channel 7, guys, listen to the framing of that question. All right? That's enough. That is a leading question. Listen to that, okay? And remember that guy that came in and said I sounded last night like this channel? You think my framing ever sounds like that? It never does. That's fucking insane.
In front of the Indigenous flag, will you have welcome to country ceremonies? Will you have smoking ceremonies? Will you acknowledge the traditional owners at your official events?
Well, Mike, the point I've made in relation to the flag is that I don't believe that we can be the best country we can.
For those of you who didn't know what happened, basically at an Anzac Day service here in Melbourne, there were basically neo-Nazis that booed the welcome to country at the service.
And if we're asking people to identify under different flags, no other country comparable to ours does that. I want to unite our country. I want every Australian to be equal. If you've got 65,000 years of heritage in this country, or you came here 6 days ago, as an Australian citizen, we are all equal.
That's a bit rich coming from a guy who was very happy to fucking stop the boats and who hates immigrants and who just spent the last however long talking about how much he hated the immigration that was happening. And he's like, I want us all to be equal, even if you came to the country 6 days ago. That's crazy.
And that's the point that I make. You can have respect, as I do, for the Indigenous flag and the Torres Strait Islander flag, but I want our country to be one, and I think that's the best chance of reconciliation.
That is the flag.
In relation to...
Oh,
so
fuck.
you find yourself in a...
Oh, my God. What have I done?
Parents, they're staying in the workforce for longer because they're either having... It's overdone, and it cheapens the significance of what it was meant to do. It divides the country, not dissimilar to what the Prime Minister did with the Voice.
I've got to go to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, you heard that. It cheapens the traditional owners' respect that has been shown by people who...
I was trying to pause to say Peter Dutton wants to get rid of the Aboriginal flag on all of the buildings. He only wants one flag. He wants everyone united under the Australian flag with the Union Jack on it, by the way, but whatever.
Allow a welcome to country in events. What's your view?
Well, the first thing that I'd say about the Anzac Day commemorations and the way in which they were disrupted is that Peter and I agree, and I think most Australians will agree, that that was abhorrent and really an act of cowardice on a day in which we celebrate the bravery of those men and women who've worn our uniforms.
Mr Dutton has just said that the welcome to country is overused and is cheapened by its overuse. You always have, at your official events, I've been to a lot of them, smoking ceremonies, welcome to country, acknowledgement of traditional owners.
Well, from my perspective, it's a matter of respect, but it's also, of course, up to the organisations that are hosting an event of whether they have a welcome to country or not. It's up to them, and people will have different views, and people are entitled to their views.
Not him playing the fucking middle.
We have a great privilege, from my perspective, of sharing this continent with the oldest continuous culture on earth. And when I welcome international visitors to Parliament House, you know what? They want to see that culture. The New Zealand national anthem, as you know, is on Anzac Day, set in Maori language as well as in English, in recognition of the fullness and richness of the history of New Zealand.
But Prime Minister, do you think it's overdone, the welcome to country?
It's up to people to determine whether they have a welcome to country or not. But from my perspective, for major events, it is, of course, a sign of respect.
So you're going to continue to do it, and you're going to do it as selected events, only major events. Is that right?
I think at the opening of Parliament, it's appropriate, and I think at other very significant events of that nature, yes. But I do think that...
Wait, so you don't think it's appropriate at an Anzac Day ceremony? Interesting.
The most important thing we can do is provide practical reconciliation.
Okay.
I think the nation was aghast when the Prime Minister spent $450 million and sought to divide us over the Voice debate on heritage and on cultural grounds. I think Australians in their hearts want to see a better outcome for Indigenous Australians in terms of health outcomes and education outcomes, but that hasn't happened under this government's watch. We've had 3 years where we've seen devastating circumstances in Alice Springs, in Darwin, only in the last few days, where a man again has lost his life. And we want to see the practical reconciliation and improvements for lives of Indigenous Australians. But the Prime Minister himself can't bring self to an honest answer to say whether it's overdone or not.
Right, so let's interrogate that. Prime Minister, we did have 18 months. You made the promise at the last election and you followed that through, and people gave you respect for having the conviction to follow through your...
What is this fucking gang up of the fucking Peter Dutton and the host? What? That's what?
...undertaking to Indigenous peoples. The voice you told us was important for...
You told us?
Australia, for who we are, for our standing in the world. It was a polite request from Indigenous people, and you've dropped it cold afterwards. Why?
Because I respect the outcome. We live in a democracy. It was a request made not under my government, made at Uluru in 2017 under a process that was established...
Do you still believe in it?
...under the former government. It's gone.
No, man, what's your personal view?
Well, it was not
Prime Minister,
successful. I'll tell you what I believe in.
We know that, but Prime Minister,
we need to find different...
What the fuck is this host doing? That's crazy. The idea that he thinks he's allowed to butt in like that, that's crazy.
...different paths to achieve reconciliation in this country.
Okay. What
and
paths?
the truth is...
What paths?
The
But does he
truth
still
is
believe
that
it though,
all
Mark, or not?
governments...
Can we get a straight answer?
...that all governments have not done well enough. That's the truth.
Okay.
The Labor Party, the Liberal Party have not done well enough.
But you
So what we are doing-
you still believe, Prime Minister, I mean, people want to know this. You still believe in what the voice was trying to achieve. It's just
We're so
the
fucked.
name that you've abandoned. You'll still try and get the objectives.
No, that process was not successful. Does that mean, though, that you shouldn't consult with Indigenous people about matters that affect them? Of course, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing through the Coalition of Peaks, through a range of bodies as well. The Coalition of Peaks address, for example, the National Cabinet process, and we need to do better to achieve those outcomes on education, on health, on housing. Okay. We've introduced, for example, in economic empowerment, a program to replace the old work for the dole schemes in remote communities with real jobs, with real wages, with real training.
Okay. With respect, we have heard those policies and we know them. Australia Day. Should we change the date?
No.
No.
Okay. You heard what the Prime Minister
found
said.
Consensus.
Well, how about that?
That's impressive.
How about that? It was quick. But it's still an issue that is so divisive. We talk about it every year. How do we get beyond that annual conversation that becomes an argument?
This is one of those things that I fundamentally disagree with Anthony Albanese on. But this just shows you the temperature of Australian politics. Right? This is the temperature. Albanese is playing the fucking middle, right? You've got to understand the Indigenous population in Australia is extremely small, and most people do not care to educate themselves or be anti-racist. And most people have a very, very intolerant view of changing the date of things like that. But this is what I mean. When I say most of the time, I am not representative of the majority of Australian politics. I'm not representative of the majority of Australian politics. And I don't even think I'm that fucking far left.
I think one of the things that we need to do is to look at how we can bring people together.
Yeah. I'm going to give you about 20 seconds on this, PM.
So,
oh my God, and you just took 4 of them, you absolute cunt.
Is that there is acknowledgement of the fullness and richness of our 65,000 years of history, but there's also acknowledgement of what happened with settlement, the celebrating the 26th of January when the first fleet arrived, and the migrants who've come to make Australia their home. We have 3 parts of that history, and we should celebrate all of it.
Yep, I think we can all agree with that. But Mr Dutton?
Well, Mark, there are millions of people who have come to our country from all parts of the world. We've been very fortunate that that's been the case. And Australia Day has significance for them and for their forebears because that was the day on which they became an Australian citizen, on the date that they signed up.
This is Peter Dutton's best performance so far, but he's being set up and not interrupted. Look at the host. Has the host interrupted him once? No, he's giving him the full 20 seconds. This is fucking infuriating.
To the best country in the world. So I think we need to respect it. I also think, frankly, in our schools, we need to stop the teaching of some of the curriculum that says that our children should be ashamed of being Australian, effectively. We've made mistakes in our history. There's no question about that. But we can't live with that shame forever. We need to accept that mistakes were made, and we need to make sure that we celebrate our national day as most other countries do, because
this is
again,
the problem.
we need to defend what we have in this country and what people have fought to defend.
We are going to move on, but I can...
No, I think we should learn about like genocide so it doesn't happen a second time. Unfortunately, though, you know, we've got America descending into 1940s fucking fascist Germany, or like some new fucking breed of fascism altogether. And you do need to, it's not about being ashamed. It is about acknowledging the mistakes of history and learning about them. It's not stopping teaching them. You're not teaching shame to children. You're teaching history. You absolute egg of a human.
Feel the frustration coming through the cameras from the lounge rooms of Australia. This is it, the black armband view of Australian history. We argued about that endlessly during the Howard years. We're still arguing about it. I think that's the point, that we need to get beyond this. Anyway, we're going on to defence. The world is changing before our eyes with war in Ukraine and the Middle East. You're both promising to spend more on the military. Prime Minister, you've made some comments subsequent to the opposition leader's announcement last week. But we still rely on the US principally for our protection. There's a guy called Donald Trump. You know, this is like Charles and Diana, this election campaign. There's somebody else in this relationship. His name's Trump. Can we trust Donald Trump to be our protector, Mr. Albanese?
Anthony Albanese is about to say that, yes, he trusts Donald Trump. He has no reason not to. I've already seen this answer on Sky News. You ready?
Well, the relationship that I've had with the President is to have two discussions, and he stuck to the agreements that we made, that he would give great consideration, in his words. We agreed on those words. So I start, I think, with people on 100% trust. But he has different views, different values.
Yes.
I support free and fair trade. He doesn't. He thinks tariffs are the way forward for the United States.
As a security partner is a question, though. Can we trust Donald Trump to have our back on security?
Yes, and the US system, of course, is very important. When I went to the United States for the official visit, I met with over 100 Congress people and
keep
senators
it. Go,
across
going.
Democrat, Republican. There's universal support for the relationship with Australia, and I think that gives us confidence, is that it's in the United States' interest as well as in Australia's interest for that defence and security relationship
there is a
to
point
be
there
in place.
that you haven't heard from Donald Trump, though. We know that you've attempted to get a meeting with him. You're in caretaker now.
You absolutely... Oh, my God. I fucking hate this guy so much. That's insane. Bro, in a debate to be like, but yeah, you haven't been able to get him on the phone? That's crazy. This is... Now watch the next bit. Watch the fucking next bit, chat. This is...
Mr. Dutton, can we trust Donald Trump to have our back?
We can trust whoever's in the Oval Office, Mark, and we respect the views of the American people. They've elected a president. I've been very fortunate to work closely with the Obama administration, with Trump, Mark I, with the Biden administration. And I have found, even though we might have political differences, the overwhelming sense, as the Prime Minister points out, from Republicans and Democrats on the Hill and the Senate, in the West Wing, regardless of administrations, there is a strong support for the alliance. We've stood shoulder to shoulder with the Americans for 100 years. They came to our aid in the Battle of the Coral Sea, and we live in an uncertain period. Anthony describes it as the most precarious period.
You know, they have set Dutton up in this debate to do very well. This is his best debate so far. I'm not even kidding.
Period since the Second World War.
It's
That's
like
why
he had
we've
a
announced
setup.
$21 billion extra.
It's like he's been given the questions. These answers are so practiced. They were not like this in the first two. This is the most perfect prepped answer I've ever seen.
Of funding into defence over the next 5 years to protect us and defend us, and maintain peace in the region. And we have to rely on the United States, as they do on us, for parts of the relationship and with our other Five Eyes partners as well.
Okay, you both trust Donald Trump. Just quickly, you got his number? You texting?
No.
See? Free pass to Dutton, back to Albo. That's...
I'm not sure that he has a mobile phone, the US president, or Joe Biden. It's not the way it works.
Oh, really?
When you have, with any global leader...
That's the way it works with you, though, surely. You text people all the time.
We text each other, we do. But global leaders, you set up, there's people taking notes from either side. It's not something that's a casual relationship. It's at a very different level.
We're not good enough to have Trump's mobile number, or he doesn't have one?
I don't know, but
what
I know
Keir,
that.
Do you have Keir Starmer's number?
When we have discussions, what we do is we have note takers on both sides. We have them in secure rooms.
This is so frustrating because so much of Australia will not see through this. And it's just both of these guys ganging up on Albanese. This is crazy. This is actually, it's crazy. I mean, when I say we are America Light, this is America Light. This is so embarrassing. Holy fuck.
Don't have discussions with global leaders.
I understand.
Over the phone.
Well, Prime Minister, I'm aware of the protocols, and they are there, but I'm sure that on your phone there are lots of text messages from world leaders that are, off-piste. Mr Dutton?
I think the answer was no there, Mark. I think that was the straight answer.
Look at him, just fucking colluding.
His number?
As I say, we worked with both Republican and Democrat administrations. We were able to negotiate the outcome on AUKUS, the nuclear submarine deal, with both the United States and the United Kingdom. A Democrat administration in the US.
We're talking about this. We're talking about Mr Trump. He's elusive. He's an elusive character to get hold of and to talk to. We know that all world leaders are lining up trying to speak to this guy.
Just on that point, though,
hey
Mark,
guys, thank you for the raid.
The first Trump administration, we had Ambassador Hockey on the ground. We had the ability to reach into the administration and not just the president, but people of influence around the president to get the best possible outcome for our country.
Many countries
has none of that connection whatsoever.
But many countries did, and there have been no exemptions this time. I mean, we've done no worse than anybody else. In fact, we've done better than a lot of countries.
No country has done better than Australia. The truth is that this is a different administration with a different president and a very clear agenda.
Different's a very interesting word.
Well, he says very clearly that tariffs he sees as a revenue gain for the United States. I see it as an act of economic self-harm, one that will increase inflation, increase unemployment in the United States, and I do see that there will be a reassessment of where it's going, and we've seen that with the changes in position that the United States has announced on a day-to-day basis.
He certainly made many changes. We started talking about defence in this section. Simple question.
This moderator makes me want to bash my head against a wall.
Which country poses the biggest threat to Australia's security, Mr Dutton?
If you were to believe the intelligence that I received as Defence Minister and as the Leader of the Opposition, and no doubt that the Prime Minister receives as well, the biggest concern from our intelligence agencies and our defence agency is in relation to the Communist Party of China. And they're worried about the conflict in our region. They're worried about what that would do to impact on our trade, what it would do for our own security settings, and what we would need to do to respond to, say, a cyber attack on our country.
All right. Are you afraid of China?
Well, we know that China seeks to increase its influence in the region. And we're in a constant...
Should we be worried about China, though? Is it
Why the fuck does the moderator keep interrupting Anthony Albanese? It's fucking crazy. It is actually fucking disgusting how many times this moderator keeps interrupting him.
China poses the biggest risk to our national security.
Well, China is the major power in the region which is seeking to increase its influence. But the relationship is complex as well, because China is our major trading partner. So what we have to do is to invest in our capability. That's what we've done, $57 billion in defence assets increased. But as well, invest in our relationships so that the best example of soft diplomacy, I think, is, and it has had bipartisan support, is the PNG rugby league team.
Yeah.
There's a whole range of ways.
I don't think China.
Why do you keep responding? You absolute motherfucking shit cunt of a moderator. I swear to God. I swear to God. That is... I am in shock.
Plays rugby league, and that's where we
exactly.
are. Mr. Dutton
that's the point.
Mr. Dutton they played ping pong. We've had ping pong diplomacy in the past. Mr. Dutton named China. You didn't.
No, I said China is
the biggest threat to Australia's
the country that seeks influence in the region to extend its influence.
Biggest threat, yes.
And that is what we are.
Oh my God, I'm raging. I'm literally raging. I am going to have to go scream into a pillow. I actually am going to have to scream into a pillow.
Biggest threat.
Well, I'm the Prime Minister of a country, and how you deal as Prime Minister is diplomatically, and that is what we continue to do.
Okay.
Mate, this guy...
now to energy. Mr. Dutton, you're promising nuclear energy in 10 years. Mr. Albanese, you're backing green energy. Why do you think your plan is best to keep the lights on, Mr. Dutton?
Well, Mark, if we have a look around the world, of the top 20 economies, Australia
Watch
is the
him not
only
interrupt him
one that
at all.
doesn't have or hasn't signed up to nuclear power. It's a zero emissions technology. It reduces the cost compared to the renewables only policy of the Prime Minister by 44%. That's the independent analysis. And we know that we can keep the lights on. We can firm up the renewables in the system. We can't pretend that, as the Prime Minister has said, that your power bill is going to come down by $275 because wind and solar is free. Australians know that that's not right. The idea of...
Anthony Albanese's debates up until this point have shat all over Peter Dutton. This is the most crazy setup I've ever seen.
Having a lot of gas coming into the system and making sure that we can use that as an interim measure is a central part to our East Coast gas reservation. We then move in 2035...
Moderator
right
hasn't said
to
shit.
Invest in the best technology that we've got, the same technology that we've signed up to, both parties have signed up to in relation to the nuclear submarines. That will allow us to really underpin energy security for the next century. And energy is the economy. And we need to take tough decisions to make sure that we can keep the lights on, we can bring power prices down, and that's exactly what we do.
All right. So you've heard that, Prime Minister, but I want to talk, and we will talk about nuclear, but I want to talk about your plan. If renewable energy is the cheapest form of power, why are taxpayers subsidising it in the...
Chad, everybody has to take a shot if this guy fucking interrupts him again.
...multiples of billions of dollars?
Well, the truth is that under the former government, 24 out of 28 coal-fired power stations announced their closure. What we need, so we were way behind. Nothing was happening in terms of the investment that was needed. Now, with renewables, there's been already enough projects approved to power 10 million homes. We think the future is renewables, backed by gas, backed by hydro, backed by batteries. And for the same reason that it makes economic sense for listeners at home to have put solar panels on their roof and will subsidise batteries because it will make a difference, not just for them, but importantly as well, take pressure off the grid and benefit everyone through that measure. On gas, gas was $34 on the day of the last election. Today it is $13. That is the measure that we've put in place. We put in place those caps on gas and coal that have made an enormous difference.
Would you be happy, Mr. Dutton, to have a nuclear power plant in
Okay,
your
the first fucking answer he got through.
We know we've got a safe technology that the Prime Minister signed up to. What Prime Minister in his or her right mind would sign up to a nuclear submarine and put our sailors onto the submarine thinking that there was a concern about safety?
No, there's a difference.
Said is that we will utilise...
There's a difference. It's not necessarily about safety. Nuclear energy and a nuclear submarine, a nuclear power submarine is an entirely different fucking thing. They're two different bits of technology. Sure, they function in the same way, but we don't need nuclear energy because we're a giant country with lots of ground for fucking solar panels. Yes, they're both safe. It's about whether one is needed or not. And the fact is Australia does not need nuclear in its fucking antiquated form. Like, oh my God, it takes reading like 3 articles to understand that, you absolute dim-witted
7
potato.
Existing coal-fired power stations. Why? Because when they come to an end of life, when the coal-fired power station closes, that community doesn't have jobs. And the experience in the UK, where the Labor Party's fully signed up, in the United States, where the Labor Party's fully signed up to nuclear, in Canada, where the Labor Party equivalent is fully signed up to nuclear. We know that those jobs transfer from the coal-fired power stations across to nuclear plants. It's what Apple is doing. It's what Oracle, what Microsoft is doing in terms of their data centres. They're only using those nuclear power stations.
In countries that have established infrastructure and a history of using it, and we know all that, and we have heard those.
I just make this point though, Mark, because it's an important point.
The tiniest little bit of pushback from the moderator, thanks.
The distribution network. So the poles and wires are already constructed, and we have the ability to generate the electricity and to distribute that electricity to households and businesses. Under the Prime Minister's plan, they have to build 28,000 kilometres of new...
Blue's conservative, Red's less conservative. Red has association with unions. In Australia, people associate the blue guy with small business and, more conservative values.
Poles and wires, which is all going to be paid for in the tens of billions of dollars by taxpayers.
Which you will defund.
The Prime Minister never talks about
which you will defund, I understand that. If it's so good, why have you not been to one of those 7 sites in the past 4 weeks? Now, I know you say you've been in the region, but it's not being at that community.
We were at Collie in Western Australia, one of the sites.
Before the campaign?
Well, as opposition leader.
This is an election campaign.
I've been to 3 communities.
If you're proud of it, wouldn't you stand out in front of it and say, this is the answer to our energy problem?
Mark, I've been very proud of the fact that we have taken a decision which I think is in our country's best interests. I haven't taken it for crass political reasons because I think that we're going to get lots of votes. I think, frankly, a lot of Australians, as you pointed out in your opening remarks, are concentrating more on cost of living than they are in what's happening in 2035. I am proud of the fact that we have a vision for our country which goes beyond 3 years.
Correct,
It will set up our energy security for the next century. And if we can bring the cost of electricity and gas down, we can bring down the cost of groceries.
It's not worth it, Druckens.
Costs across the economy. We were at BlueScope the other day.
It's truly not. Unless we get fusion, it's not worth it. Fission is not worth it for Australia.
We should talk about that.
It's a money sink.
Nuclear power plant site in the next 6 days.
It is the fission as it exists today, nuclear power as it exists today, is basically a ploy by the Liberal government to make sure we are reliant on coal and gas a little bit longer, because that man, the blue man, he is a puppet of Gina Reinhardt. So he will do whatever she fucking wants.
Well, Mark, we've been to 3 communities.
Yes or no? Sorry, yes or no?
We've been to 3 communities already.
So that's no. Okay, I've got it.
Pete,
Prime Minister.
If Peter went to the Collie site, which I have twice, last year and then back again, what he would see is connecting up. It's going to use the same transmission lines that are currently used for the coal-fired power station.
This is
that
a waste of money, Mr.
in 2027. He would see the batteries. The batteries which will power hundreds of thousands...
Can you be honest with the Australian
hundreds
people?
of thousands...
The 10 million homes you talked about only are powered part-time. What do people do overnight time? What about hospitals? What about cold rooms? How does the economy run on part-time power?
Okay, you can answer his question.
Thanks. 100 that will power hundreds of thousands of homes.
For 4 hours the batteries last.
It's being built...
Why does he keep getting interrupted by both of them?
There now, it will enable... I don't know how Peter thinks that water works. When it's not raining, people turn on the tap and the water's there. That's the same way that you can store energy. And that is what is happening. In WA, will be completely...
He just had to explain energy to Peter Dutton like he's a fucking 3-year-old. That was fun. That's so funny. I don't know how he thinks water works, but it works like water. You absolute...
Coal-fired power free, renewables, backed by gas, backed by batteries and backed by hydro.
You're going to wreck this economy if you keep going with this, Prime Minister.
Well, Peter...
You will wreck the economy. And you're doing it now. And it's why families are suffering. It's why 30,000 small businesses have closed under your watch.
Peter,
the largest number of small businesses
today
closures in the last 12 months than any 12 months in our country's history.
I think what the Prime Minister is going to say is that there have been 30,000 closed, tens of thousands have opened.
There have never been more small businesses in Australia than there are today.
Right, we're getting off topic. I love the spirit, we're getting off topic. No.
Why does Peter Dutton keep getting to interrupt like this? It is absolutely rabid dog backed into a corner in his last ditch effort to get like the hateful vote. It's actually disgusting.
Very much, Mark. How are you going at home? Is this helping you decide? Well, after the break, the rapid fire questions to decide the winner of the final showdown. They'll be short, they'll be sharp. You need to hear before voting. Then Spotlight, the verdict. The jury of 60 undecided voters crown a winner. We're back in 4 minutes.
Luckily, I can skip those 4 minutes for everybody.
Just a juvenile response from a Prime Minister who's not prepared to debate the topic.
Mr Albanese.
Well, I'm prepared to debate the topic, and Peter was too busy yelling to hear our response, which is about it doesn't stack up economically in Australia. $600 billion.
Okay, let's go to this one. Here is a dozen eggs. Mr Dutton, do you know how much they cost?
About $4.20.
No, you might get half a dozen.
Mr Albanese.
$7 if you can find them, because it's hard to find them at the moment.
Yeah, you're looking at, I reckon you're looking at 8+. No?
Yeah, there you go. It's the Sunny Queen 12 eggs from Woolies. They're $8.80 from Coles. They're slightly cheaper at about $8.50. Yeah, that's... I think you maybe.
Wow, Anthony Albanese, more in tune with the working class. That's so crazy. Who could have ever foreseen that happening?
Own brand.
Mr Albanese got the advantage.
Kirrilly does the shopping.
And I've got to buy a dozen at a time instead of a half a dozen. Which is what we do at home.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They've gone up a lot, though. You're right. In the last, in the last few months, especially the last year. Okay, a follow-up. What 3 things will be cheaper? First of all, if you stay Prime Minister, what can go down? Because that's what everyone out there is screaming for.
Tell you what, if you're doing a TAFE course, it's zero. Childcare, because of what we're doing on childcare, and I'm trying to, and the other measures that we're putting in place to your income taxes will come down as well.
In 15 months. Mr Dutton, 3 things.
Well, electricity will come down, gas will come down, and groceries will come down.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, well, Trump said the same thing, didn't he? Fucking Peter Dutton. Fucking...
Go down about the
that one, wasn't it? And what about this man? Let's have a look. Elon Musk, a billionaire around 30 times over, taken into Trump's government, now winding back just months in, Mr Albanese. What comes to mind looking at this man?
Tesla and a very rich man.
Mr Dutton?
I think evil genius.
Evil genius.
Okay. Mr Dutton, have you distanced yourself, do you think, from Mr Trump's style enough?
I haven't sought to be anybody other than myself, and I believe very strongly that, based on my experience working with John Howard very closely, he's been my political mentor, and I want to make sure we manage the economy as he did. I want to keep our country safe,
Will we still
as
have
any
a
Liberal
Doge?
leader would do.
We still have a Doge. Just seen a price going to run a Doge.
I've heard
Why
this-
have you followed so many of the policies?
Well, government
Even
efficiency.
today, saying that the ABC were part of hate media.
Well, government efficiency, I mean, do you believe in that?
Look, of course we agree in efficiency. What we don't agree with,
Trump light.
what we don't agree
Trump
with,
light because you want
is what
taxpayers'
your
money spent
assistant.
efficiently, as we're suggesting.
Can I finish?
Sure.
Is what your Assistant Treasurer Luke Howarth said, which was that you would have a Department of Government Efficiency based upon Elon Musk's model. He's your shadow Assistant Treasurer.
We've said that given you've spent $425
and you're going to sack 41,000 public servants.
We've said that given you've spent $425 billion extra, which is why people are paying more for their mortgages now, that we're going to take some of the wasteful spending that you've got in the...
This actually makes my body squirm. I find this so annoying. It actually makes me feel rage in my fucking body. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I just, like...
budget. We have the highest per
We've
capita
saved $207 billion. We've improved the budget bottom line by $207 billion. We've produced 2 budget surpluses, the government of which you were a part delivered 0.
All right,
Okay.
good.
Yep.
This started off so nicely.
I know. It was so friendly.
Let's get back to it.
What comes to mind when you see this, gentlemen? Let's have a look. Mr Albanese.
Australia.
Mr Dutton?
Well, a great system, and one that we've invested in, that we believe in strongly. But at the moment, you're paying about $43 to go and see a doctor, and so it should be accompanied by the credit card that you've got to take to the doctors as well.
Do you
under
have
this
that in your
government.
pocket? You're probably thinking he's going to pull it out at some stage. You got your credit card there?
No, I haven't got
No.
it.
You want to abolish bulk billing altogether by having a charge.
I wanted to make primary care sustainable.
By having a charge every time people visit the
They want to privatise it. They want to Americanise Medicare. Just so you know.
doctor, it would have been no bulk billing.
No, but your charge now is $43.
That was what you did.
Your charge is $43.
That's what you did. We're repairing your mess.
You
I think
pretend-
you both had policies in the past, though, that you walked away from. We talked about negative gearing. You've walked away from that. And Mr Dutton's walked away from the 2014 budget, and we know all about that.
But he pretends it didn't happen.
OK. We want to listen to a quick soundbite.
Yeah. That my word is my bond.
Remember that, Mr Albanese? I do.
I do.
Yeah. But you broke your word.
I did.
So
I did. I changed my mind because I could not resile from the need to do something to help people because of cost of living pressures.
Sure.
So what I did was I fronted up.
Yep.
I went along to the National Press Club. I didn't pretend that we hadn't changed our position.
No.
I went along. I argued the case, and guess what? The coalition voted for it as well.
We gave you snaps of that. And but you remember the interview? I do.
Yeah.
We gave you snaps for that. This moderator, that's crazy.
I put those arguments to you at that time, and I said, why won't you change this? Because all those things you just articulated were real then, and they're real now. And you said, because my word is my bond.
Except, Mark, that what occurred with global inflation, where inflation hit, here it peaked at 7.8. Overseas, it peaked.
Things got worse, is your argument,
It peaked
is
in
it?
double digits. It peaked in double digits.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, in all conscience, on the 1st of July, get $9,000 for all of us and a whole lot of people who are watching at home
But I
not
put
get a
this to you
single
at
dollar.
that time. I put that to you at that time. Mr Dutton, is your word your bond?
Yes, it is. And if
Oh,
you're talking about the
my
stage 3 tax
God.
cuts, don't forget, it's stage 3 because stage 1 and stage 2 tax cuts were
Are
introduced
you
by
Lauren
the coalition
Southern?
government.
Sure. Yeah. That's me, Lauren Southern. That's me. Yep. Lauren Southern. Yep.
And we supported stage 3 tax cuts. So the whole idea was to address bracket creep that you spoke of before. Under this government, people are paying $3,500 extra in tax over the course of the last 3 years.
But you
well,
voted for the change. So not only did we change our position,
It's
but
awful,
it went
Kate.
through the Parliament
It is awful.
unanimously.
You changed it.
Okay,
You
we're
changed it.
talking
Okay.
about your word being your bond. On that point, we want you to listen to something else, Mr Dutton.
Well, I've apologised for the decision that we took in relation to work from home.
How did you get that policy so wrong?
We said in relation to public servants in Canberra that we wanted to go back to something like what it was before COVID, which was about 60% of people at work. Still flexibility for a lot of people, and believe very strongly in flexibility in work arrangements. It's down to 20% in Canberra. We have, on a per capita basis, the highest number of public servants in the world, and the government has increased the number of public servants threefold. The point I was making is that if Australians are out there working their guts out at the moment, an extra job or a second job, they're paying
this is the
taxes,
last
they expect
debate.
their money to be spent efficiently. What the Prime Minister did, as he's done with a number of other issues, is twisted and contorted into something that it wasn't. And the point I make was that, yes, the Prime Minister scared particularly women and others into believing that we were doing something that we weren't, and I apologise for that.
Okay, well, we know
but-
the conditions in the public sector become a template for the private sector, though, don't we?
But you said when you announced the policy that people could just job share. That's what you said. And since the backflip, a number of your people, senior people, have said that they still support the policy. It was just the wrong time. The truth is that this attack on public servants would then create a precedent for the private sector, which is why people were so concerned that it doesn't understand what modern families do. Just like sacking 41,000 public servants, you had 54,000 consultants at various times during your period in office being paid a lot more than public servants, and you had robo-debt, and you had veterans
All right,
waiting.
we're getting back into the weeds now, and we could
support.
talk about this all night, and I wish we could, frankly, because I think this is really helpful.
It's really not,
time
mate.
is,
You're actually the worst moderator I have seen, and I have seen some fucking bad moderators.
closing on it. So your closing statements, gentlemen. I've been out there on the streets with you for the past 4 weeks. I've got to tell you, I'm sorry, I'm going to be out there next week with you as well. So I know how hard you're working. The one thing people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying to you, is where's the inspiration? Where's the hope? Give me some hope. Give me something to look forward to. Your closing statements, 1 minute. Mr. Dutton, you're going first. Give the people some hope.
Well, Mark, firstly, thank you to you and Nat and to Anthony as well. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. I know that many Australians are really doing it tough at the moment, and I don't believe Australians can afford 3 more years of increased costs of everything. I want to make sure we can deliver support immediately through the 25 cent a litre cut in fuel tax, the $1,200 tax rebate, and I want to make sure that we can transform our energy market, get more gas into the system, bring the wholesale price of gas down by 20%.
I unironically think this last debate will give Dutton a last-minute boost in the polls. I don't know if he can win. I pray to God he loses his seat, but the way this debate was run will give him a boost, would be my guess.
23%. If we do that, we can bring down the costs across the economy. We can bring inflation down through good economic management. And that's exactly what is required in our country right now. If we make the right decisions now, we can protect our generation and future generations and make our country and our communities safer. And that's exactly what I'm dedicated to doing. So if people vote for their Liberal and National candidate at this election, we can get our country back on track and we can make sure that we can invest into families, help grow our economy, reduce interest rates and help Australians get through what has been a terrible period.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Albanese. People are crying out for hope and inspiration. Your 1 minute.
Well, I'm optimistic about Australia's future, and what gives me hope is the resilience, the courage, the optimism of the Australian people. We are the greatest country on the planet, and we're driven by...
Well done for putting up with this. But yeah, I fear this is a 2019 situation for Albor. Sadly, I think we are headed for a nightmarish next 3 years.
I don't think so, Afeth. I don't think so. Thank you for the 57 months. I actually do have a little bit of hope for this election. I will be very disappointed if it swings to the LNP. I think it could be a rough 3 years anyway, just because of the state of like the world globally. I don't think it's like it's much of a muchness in some ways, but I think young people will vote Greens and Labor. Truly. I don't think Dutton has the charisma to get it across the line. And while this was his best debate performance yet, based on what I saw, yeah, I don't know. Let's listen to the rest of this, though.
By our people, as well as, of course, the natural assets that we enjoy. And I want to back our people through skills and training. That's why we're investing in every school by giving a better and fairer schools funding. That's why we're investing in early childhood education. That's why we're
69%
in
think
free
Anthony
trade,
Albanese won. Nice.
that opportunity to be the best that they can. That's why we're working so hard with the Australian people to bring down inflation. If we get it right, the future is so bright for us because we live in the fastest growing region of the world in human history, and our people are our greatest asset, including our multiculturalism, of course, gives us those direct links to the economies of Asia.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for entering into the spirit of the debate tonight. We've covered...
I don't mind the last answer. There are going to be some people who don't like that, though. But we don't have a choice.
6 days to go. Good luck to both of you. Let the best man win. No?
Let the best man
Australia
win.
now, it is
Mate, you need to go take a long nap. Get out. God, he was insufferable.
Time to decide, who do you think won the final showdown? And what did our jury of undecided voters from all walks of life watching
So,
here inside
YouTube,
Election HQ
70%
think
Anthony
of the two
Albanese,
contenders?
30%
Did
Peter
Anthony
Dutton.
Albanese convince you he's worth another 3 years in the top?
work to impress, and that's where we go back and say g'day to Sunrise's Monique right now. Monique, take it away.
Michael, good evening to you. Good evening to everybody. Great to see you. And it's been fantastic to be here with these 60 undecided voters. They are real swing voters. Thanks so much to the person who suggested we should be referring to you as the swingers tonight. We're not. They're definitely the jury room. Now, how the jury room has worked tonight is they're each using, can I just borrow your little, they're using one of these. So we're calling this the pulse. So while the two leaders were speaking, they were telling us what they thought on each topic, and they will give us the big one, the who won the debate tonight. It's interesting being in this room tonight. This is a group of people who came in here pretty confused, I think I could say. Some people stuck to us in...
Them passionate, why they're passionate about that, and some of the interactions there. So there were...
Fuck, Australian TV is so fucking white. I get it. I'm white too, but fuck me.
Talking points. I mean, I didn't stop them from doing that. You're never going to do it right, Kazi. You bang them into people and they've got to do it right. Never. But I think what I tried to do was have them discuss their policy positions.
You sucked.
Weigh them up against the other person's, say why they're right, the other person's is wrong, to help people.
You did a terrible job, mate.
That's what we achieved.
No, you did not achieve that.
From what you were listening to.
He certainly did. It's probably the toughest gig in politics, I think, actually chairing that final debate. And I think tonight's debate shone a light on how the...
Not them all coming in to back up this guy who did, like, a terrible job.
Leaders are going into the final week as well. And that's a really tough thing to get them to openly admit, you know, what they think of the other person's policies on the go. So it's a tough debate, but tonight was actually exciting. You compare it to the first couple, and we had a few exciting moments there towards the end of the night.
Andrew, do you think there were some clear hits and misses tonight?
I think
we don't care if it's exciting. The idea that you're referring to a political debate as exciting gives fucking America... It's so frustrating, right? Because it's the idea that politics is like WWE. Pixel, please see Twitter now. I'm rolling. Somebody post me the link.
I think it was good to see some biffo, some signs of life in what's otherwise been a pretty dull campaign, so to speak. So it was...
It's okay that politics is dull. You absolute... I swear to God.
Good to kind of get that back and forth, particularly on cost of living. I think that was really important to see the passions come up, and it wasn't just two, white men having a go at each other. It was a passionate debate about what is going wrong in this space.
Ben, what do you think? Have they impressed our undecided voters and all the people out there who really haven't known what to think? Peter Dutton, 30%, 35% of the voters remain undecided. Two very interesting results coming out there. Mon, let's go back up to you now. You've been speaking to the people in your room. What
make you feel hope for the future that you'll be able to afford your own house?
It's really tough, especially because of how high the prices are. And a lot of people around my age, especially friends I know who are trying to save up money, have that HEX especially weighing over them. And it's a little bit hard to decide, like, what will
Cost
happen.
of living, 65% Albo, 17% Dutton.
Make you feel as if you might be able to afford a home?
Maybe with the first home lender scheme, if like any of that deposit could help in getting a jump start.
Then maybe that way. Okay, now you two guys came here tonight and you were wanting to be inspired on a range of topics. Were you inspired tonight?
Yeah, I think I was. I think both of them offered solutions that were possible. Hopefully, I think Albanese finished with inspiration, which I think was a nice change instead of the nitpicking that we obviously always see. So, yeah.
I was thinking of you, Todd, when he was saying that. Now, we've got two single parents here, and we've got Melanie and Chris. Okay, your parents, I'm wondering if you're anything like me and you walk around, you're constantly turning off lights.
All the time.
Yeah, okay. So even when someone's in the room, that's happened at our house before. Was there anything that was said tonight to make you think that you will not have to do that in the future, that energy bills might be relieved, that cost of living might be improved?
I think both of them have some really good points about cost of living and especially around electricity, but I'm yet to see whether they'll actually come to fruition. So I'm interested to see whether I still need to turn the lights off or whether I'm actually going to see a difference in my hip pocket.
Okay, what about for you, Chris?
I feel the same, actually. Don't really what to say. Sorry.
That's all right. Look, it's hard to be put on the spot.
Yeah, this is about right. This is a pretty accurate representation of politics in Australia.
We get a bit of an idea of what it's like to be the leaders, but they've been given a lot of practice in this. Okay, for you two guys, you're voting now for the second time, and you said that you were really unsure when you came in here today. On the basis of cost of living and housing, how did you feel while they were speaking?
I think, I personally already own a home, but I think a lot of my friends don't own homes, and it's good to hear. Personally, I think Labor offer a bit more. The Liberals were just kind of attacking, but they didn't really offer anything.
Okay, based homeowner over here. You already own a home and you're like, oh my God, but Labor's giving some answers? King thinking about somebody other than himself? Slay.
So yeah, hearing that 5% deposit scheme, that sounds pretty good. So I'd feel more confident voting for Labor today.
Okay, we keep on hearing that's someone's phone. It's your mum calling. They can see.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of the already a homeowner. Slay King. Oh my God, Chad.
On TV. We keep on hearing that young people have never been more important than in this election. You guys have got the power. You know, you came today, you were pretty engaged. Yeah. Do you feel any different after listening to them tonight?
I do. It was nice hearing a lot of the things brought up, and I just feel as though Albanese brought up a lot of evidence to support his claims, whereas the opposition was just making small jabs. So
okay.
Oh, delightful. Oh, what a delightful outcome. Oh, very good. Oh, yes. Not bad.
All right, well, Michael, we've got many more results that are coming in this evening. We should have the next round in the next couple of minutes.
Well, indeed, yeah, and the Roy Morgan people are working on that, Mon. Thank you very much. Let me ask the panel now. Kayla, that's on the cost of living, that gap is huge there. 65% of our undecided voters supporting Albanese, only 16% on Dutton. That's a fail for Dutton.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it time and time again through our polling and research, that the Labor Party is leading on cost of living, but it is a stark contrast tonight. 65% is an absolute win. And you could see that in what the Prime Minister was saying tonight, sharing the vision and the story about cost of living as an overall narrative. And so, it isn't surprising to me that he won. It is surprising just how much he won by this evening.
Ben, why is Peter Dutton getting that topic so wrong?
I think that he wants to say...
Who's fucking with the microphones? This is so funny.
And that is for a great many Australians, not most, but a great many. This is not a cost of living crisis. It is a cost of living within their means.
I love Australian TV, but someone's getting fired.
Inconvenience. And we are so conditioned now, at the first sign of discomfort, to put our hand out and have government put something in it, that's what these leaders are doing, and they will bankrupt the country to do it. So
what in the Freudian slip was that? And they will bankrupt the company. Okay, this is just so juicy now. Oh, it's just so juicy.
So what's your take on that?
Well, it's worrying signs looking at those numbers, because this last week the election will be determined by who can itemise what's going on in terms of cost of living in the economy. Peter Dutton has been very good to this stage to itemise every element of pain that is going on in people's household budgets. He's been very good at that. But on the flip side, it's taken a while to get to the stage where he's communicating what the coalition will do better.
Chat, one of my lymph nodes is up and now I'm worried that I'm dying. I'm not, right?
And while it's
fair
kind of
enough.
running out of time scenario here, where he's only got a certain amount of days to be able to communicate, what the coalition can do better to address that.
All right, going to take a short break. Look, a very short reset here at election headquarters because there's a lot of the new data to go through that's still coming in. Stay right there, Australia, because soon we'll reveal some pretty outstanding new results. Already a bombshell on cost of living. Plus, for the first time, we can show you what really has our undecided voters stirred up. The worm is back, Australia. Another room here at Election Central. We've also had our 7 News team out and about across Australia to get instant reaction to the debate from key seats. Let's have a look at Dixon in Brisbane now. That's Liberal leader Peter Dutton's seat, becoming increasingly marginal. In 2022, he held on by just 1.7%. He's going up against Labor candidate Ali France. And while she lost to Peter Dutton in the 2019 and 22 elections...
Oh, God, do you know what I need? Do you know what would do you want to know what I need in my life? I need Ali France to step up here. I need it to happen. Like, I need to crab dance my fucking life away. All right, when Peter Dutton loses his seat. That would be my joy. I deserve that. Okay? I don't know who's writing the simulation, but like, come on. I have to move house. I deserve this.
Elections this year. She's back for a third crack. We're at Eaton's Hill Hotel in the outer northern suburbs of Brizzy for reaction to tonight's debate. And there were some pretty strong opinions there, particularly on the issue of
Ali
the
Smith,
Welcome
the
to Country,
Independent.
Ceremonies.
It'll depend on preferences.
Ask them a few questions about that subject.
I think it's two white men talking about issues that we should be taking advice from Indigenous people about.
Is divisive, and I think what Albanese said was more sensitive, more culturally aware.
I'm definitely leaning towards Dutton. I think sometimes it's overcooked. That doesn't mean we're being disrespectful to the Aboriginal community. But I don't think it needs to be there for every, team meeting, every sporting event.
I think it's overdone. Yeah, totally overdone.
Supporting Dutton over this one?
Don't support either of them.
From the mouths of Peter Dutton's constituents. I want to bring in now Hugh Whitfield, where the next round of results are just 3 minutes away too, by the way, I should add. So we're going to bring up the clock and count down to that. There it is right now. We'll bring those results to you pretty soon. But Hugh, whilst we wait for those direct results, let's go over to you.
Thanks, Michael. I want to introduce you to something very special. We are calling it The Pulse, an accurate and truthful depiction of how our undecided voters responded to key moments of tonight's debate. Now, some might remember it from its former and copyrighted name over the last couple of decades that we definitely won't be using, The Worm. But what got The Pulse pumping? Well, both leaders were asked about where they stand on Welcome to Country. It's been a very controversial issue over the last couple of days, considering the events of Anzac Day, and The Pulse moved into positive territory with Peter Dutton's response.
There is a sense across the community that it's overdone. For the opening of Parliament...
What?
Fair enough. It's respectful to do, but for the start of
It's
every
the
meeting at
60
work,
people in the room,
or the start
Bondle.
of a football game, I think a lot of Australians think it's overdone, and it cheapens the significance of what it was meant to do. It divides the country, not dissimilar to what the Prime Minister did with the voice.
So it's pretty clear that our undecided voters were pretty happy with what the opposition leader...
It's actually not that clear at all, mate. It was a little red line that did nothing. It may have been the worst graphic I've ever seen. It meant nothing to me. I didn't know what it meant, and nothing was clear about it.
Had to say on that. Unlike other debates we've seen, there was plenty of backward and forwards between both leaders, and they had a chance to respond to some of the attacks from one or the other. Anthony Albanese was forced...
The only person that was attacking was Peter Dutton, actually.
to defend his economic policies when it came to helping with the cost of living and the like, and our undecided voters seem to like that.
I won't let him abandon free TAFE so that people can get an opportunity in life. I won't let him get away with this nonsense about economic management. We inherited a deficit of $78 billion. We turned that into a $22 billion surplus. We delivered another surplus, and we halved the deficit this year.
So you can see the Pulse spending a fair bit of time in positive territory there. And it was also Anthony Albanese's support, he says, for tradies that earned the tick of approval.
But we've done something else as well. We are training more tradies to work on those homes by giving a $10,000 apprenticeship support program to encourage young people and people retraining to go into construction.
So the Pulse, formerly known as the Worm elsewhere, showing us what our undecided voters really think about what the leaders had to say in real time, Michael.
All right, Hugh, thank you for that. A quick recap now of our first round of results. As we saw a minute ago, the cost of living was a big win for the Prime Minister. 65% of our voters siding with Anthony Albanese. Peter Dutton received 16%. Peter Dutton land a blow here when it comes to the issue of cost of living. It's what everybody's worried about, but it's rated so poorly tonight on that.
Well, look, Michael, I want to be respectful of the audience views and their opinions. That's perfectly valid for them to hold those. But I think the objective facts are that cost of living has gone backwards on Labor's watch. Grocery prices up 30%.
Not this fucker calling the audience dumb. Oh, that's so funny. Mate.
Electricity prices up 32%, gas prices up 34%. We've had the worst fall in living standards in Australian history and the worst in the developed world in the last couple of years.
But why can't he get that message across to people and poll so badly tonight?
I think Australians know when they go to the supermarket checkout and it's worse than they was just the week before. Every week it gets worse for them. I think they know that this Prime Minister has failed, and there's no reason to expect a second-term Albanese government would be any better than a first.
Vons, I've been screaming that at people for years. I've had enough of this, by the way. I'm not watching anymore. I have had enough. I have had a fuck enough. Enough. It's what people think that the government make a policy and then the next week everything's changed. Okay. Cool. That's how it works, everyone. Slay. Not the fucking funeral. Let me out of here. Why? Not the autoplay funeral. Pain. This is... Why is everything going like this? Oh my god. Okay, we're just going straight into... I need to be real with you. I have a very sore throat. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to sing. This is my last stream for 3 days while I move. Let's see what this sounds like. But it could be very bad. Nev, thank you for the 17 months. I didn't think you'd understand me. How could you ever even try? I don't wanna tiptoe, but I don't wanna hide. But I don't wanna feed this monstrous fire. Just wanna let this story die, and I'll be alright. We can't be friends, but I'd like to just pretend. You cling to your papers and pens, wait until you like me again. I'll wait for your love, my love. I'll wait for your love. Me and my truth, we sit in silence. Baby girl, it's just me and you. 'Cause I don't wanna argue, but I don't wanna bite my tongue. Yeah, I think I'd rather die. You got me misunderstood, but at least I look this good. you like me again. I'll wait for your love, my love. I'll wait for your love. I'll wait for your love, my love. I'll wait for your 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 love, my love. I'll wait for your love. I'll wait for your love. I have a really sore throat.
Bad idea.
I have a really sore throat. Don't request any songs, you guys. I'm gonna have to go. I have to go to sleep. I'm worried I'm getting sick. I can definitely do this. I have a really sore throat.
Vienna, Billy Joel, please, if it's the last ever songs.
It's not the last ever songs, hopefully. It's a bad idea, me and you.
I know, I totally agree.
It's a bad idea, me and you.
I've never known anything so true.
It's a terrible idea, me and you. You have a wife,
You have a husband.
you're my doctor.
Baby, come in.
It's a bad idea, me and you. Let's just keep kissing until we come to. Hush the separation, let's face it. Making mistakes like this will make us lose already pretty bad. Mind stop running, it's time we just let this thing go. It was a pretty good bad idea, wasn't it though? It's a bad idea, me and you. It's a bad idea, me and you. Pull me close while I think this through. Yeah, it's a very poor idea, me and you. Hush separation, let's face it. Making mistakes like this will make us lose already pretty bad. And stop running, it's time we just let this thing go. It was a pretty good bad idea, wasn't it though? I know it's right for me. You're the only thing I've ever done. What if I never see myself ever be anything more than what I've already become? I need a bad idea. 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 Just one. Heart keep racing. Let's make mistakes. Let us say so what? And make us lose already pretty bad. This secret is safe. No reason to throw it away. When there's love to be had, hold me tight as I tell myself that you might make sense and make good what is just so bad. Let's see this through. It was a pretty good bad idea. Me and you. I wish I felt 100%. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Thanks for Pockies. Sorry you only get one tonight. Albertra, thank you for the 44 months and the sneaky tier 3. I'm so grateful. Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile, but then you're so smart. Tell me why you're still so afraid. Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. But you know that when the truth is told, that you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick up before you even get halfway through. When we realize Vienna waits for you. Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you want before your time. Although it's so romantic on the borderline. Tonight, too bad it's the life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself, you forget what you need. They can see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. You're right. You got your passion, you got your pride, but don't you know that only fools are satisfied? Dream on, but don't imagine they'll come true. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Slow down, you crazy child, and take the phone off the hook. Disappear for a while. It's alright, you can afford to lose a day or two. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? And you know that when the truth gets told, that you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. When do you realize Vienna waits for you? When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Chat, I'm getting sick. I can feel it. I wonder if I can stave it off. Farewell. My first home, all by myself. Chad, I'm going to see you somewhere new. Aw, my poggies, not you gifting 12 months to Vons.
Mass Teppen gifted a tier 1 sub to Vondel.
That's very kind of you. Oh, the reverb shit. Look, I did my best. My throat fucking hurts.
Tasty Velociraptor gifted a tier 1 sub to New Homenis. They have given 1,675 gift subs in the channel.
New home, nice.
Tasty Velociraptor gifted a tier 1 sub to Poor Person.
Oh, thank you so much for gifting Paul Person and kind of hot in these runners. 37 months.
So
Not me finish. No, I'm not. We don't have to go Irish. We don't have to go Irish. Oh, Lordy. I can't believe I'm leaving. You know what? I'm going to be real. I'm happy to leave this apartment behind. I'm happy for the clean out. I'm happy for the fresh start. Hopefully it's not shit. But we'll find out together, hey?
Note and underscore gifted a tier 1 sub to Burn It All Down.
Burn It All
They
Down.
have given 76 gift subs in the channel.
All my homies love fresh starts. I'm very excited for a fresh start. Sometimes you just need one, you know? Chat, I reckon. Jaeger!
Deposit. So
My goodness, thank you for the 22 months. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I'm excited. Chat, I really do think the earliest I'll be able to get back is Thursday. But I hope you all know I've truly been doing my best. If I'm sick, I will have a mental breakdown, the likes of which have never been seen before. So, VT, thank you for the 20 bucks. That's very kind. Oh, what a nice end to stream. Stop it. I don't believe that I've seen a few at this point. Lol. Yeah, imagine moving into my new house and immediately having a mental breakdown. No, I need to, how do I, like, do you think I can manifest this away? Like, look at my gland. You can see it. You can basically see it. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna see my mother in the morning. I'm gonna drink more water. Probably need to eat a vegetable. Don't have any vegetables. Thoughts and prayers. Oh no, my little baby. Oh, did you hear me doing the ohms? Hello, my little baby. Tell Mum to bring the salads. Come, get it out. That's my good girl. I'm finished. You don't know that I'm finished, but I'm finished. Okay. Well, shit. Chat, see you in 3 days. What that's going to look like, I don't know. But just don't expect anything from me from the next 3 days. Movie nights will run in Discord, so if you still want to hang out with everyone, discuss anything, Discord will still be thriving. So, yeah. If that's the vibe, obviously you can just go somewhere else as well. It's fine. I'm going to go pass the fuck out. Don't take this the wrong way, but we'll get on fine without you. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. What do you mean? What do you mean life goes on without me? That's a mental breakdown. It's a mental breakdown. Don't take this the wrong way, but 3 days and my life is over. What? Oh my God, chat. Thank you for everything. Thank you for supporting me during this move. Thank you for just putting up with my bullshit. I will see you very soon.